Brian Westbrook, one of my favorite players of all time.
He's so good, dude.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, you guys got freaking Saquon, dude. Dude, talking to the mic just a little bit, just so I can hear it. Go ahead, talk.
Hey, what's up?
There we go. Dude, one of my buddies, big NFL fan. He's a big Lions fan.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, Derrick Henry is the best offseason signing of all time. And I'm like, Saquon Barkley is we're not even talking all time. Saquon Barkley is the best of this year.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley is ridiculous.
Well, I think the thing is it's always been about the injury history. I don't think anyone's really questioned too much of his overall talent, but
How much are you guys paying him?
his cap hit is $3.1 million,
Yeah.
but it's $13 million a year.
Okay.
But what's his name's very good with the cap, Howie Roseman.
Dude, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's pretty legit.
Wait, how many years do you have Saquon?
3 years. We got him for 2 more at this caps.
It was probably like week 10 when I was like, because all of my friends in Michigan are Lions fans.
Yeah.
And they thought, well, this is the year, this is our year. And I'm like, I think it's
if they
the
didn't have
Eagles.
15 guys injured on defense, I think it would be a different story.
Yeah. But I even back then, I still thought the Eagles scared me more. They definitely scared me more because I always thought that we could stop the run. The Lions' run, your run is a little bit different because you're more home run hitter. And, well, I guess they have Gibbs, but
Our offensive line is ridiculous, too.
That's
and I'm not
the
saying
scary
that
part.
Detroit's isn't, but
way
I think,
better.
I think our average on the offensive line is 6'6" and 360, 380
Yeah.
is the average of all of them.
Yeah.
My lot is 6'8", a rugby
That is
player.
awesome.
Never didn't even know the rules of football.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
And then, I mean, Lane Johnson's Hall of Famer.
Oh, he's unreal.
Yeah. And then, wow.
Lane Dickerson and then
Is
Tyler Steen.
your center healthy?
Yeah, he's back. He said he's
Because
good
he
to go.
played in the NFC Championship, but then because he wasn't going to, right? And then your backup got hurt.
So
Was that 2 weeks?
our All-Pro left guard
Yeah.
played center in college.
Got
so
it.
He moved over to center
Right.
because Juergens was out with a back injury, and then he injured his knee.
And then Juergens
so then
came
Juergens
in.
came back in at halftime,
And it's kind of like what we're going through at left tackle with Tooney.
moving him out.
But with Tooney out there, Jalen Carter is going to have
He's
a
good.
day.
But your right guard's not too bad. He's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, Trey Smith.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that's suspect is your left guard.
Well, yeah, Caliendo,
Yeah,
because Tooney is gone.
Yeah.
And we would 100% lose. If we moved Tooney back in at guard and relied on anybody that we have at left tackle, we would 100% lose. It would be Tampa Bay Buccaneers all over again.
The only problem is we don't have – I mean, we have Josh Sweat out there. He's okay.
Your edges aren't –
Nolan Smith's an animal on the other side, but you have Jawan Taylor. I think that's going to be interesting too.
Jawan Taylor's not very good.
He tries to leave early like Lane. He just gets caught more.
Yep. Dude, they want to make an example out of him. He's the most penalized guy in the NFL over the last 3 years. And
he does get caught leaving. I mean, Lane Johnson leaves early a lot, but Jawan Taylor's just really bad at.
So does Deion Dawkins. Dawkins leaves a ton too.
Yeah, I don't watch him as often.
No.
So.
How do you get along with like Bills fans? But is Bills your AFC team?
No, so it was. I mean, I'm from Philly originally.
Okay.
So then when we were kind of in that like 5th, 6th grade time, it was like my dad traveled for a living, so we would like listen to baseball games on the radio.
Okay.
And so like he'd be away and he's like, oh, you guys listen to the game. Like we'd watch Philadelphia, everything. We went to the Bills-Eagles game wearing Eagles gear in Buffalo when Randall Cunningham almost got sacked in the end zone and he spun out of it and threw it 80 yards. But then it was like that, that pressure time. Who do you root for? Who are you? And it's funny because my brother was like, oh, Bills, 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 Sabres, Sabres, Sabres. I have a Lindros jersey, and he's got he gets a Sabres jersey, and we're going to games.
How old were you guys when you moved up here?
I think we were 5 and 6.
Okay.
And then that was
That's
more when we were
similar.
like 11 and 12. And then he was rooting for the Bills. And again, being in Buffalo and being young, I wanted the Bills to win.
Right.
But they went to 4 Super Bowls, lost them all. And then I joke around with them now how the last 30 years treated you. The Sixers have gone to the in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Phillies have won a World Series.
Yep.
The Eagles won. The Flyers won the Stanley Cup final and lost to Patrick Kane.
And then the
Eagles have been perennial.
I mean,
pretty good.
This is your third Super Bowl in what, 8 years? 7?
7. 2000.
So you got the Nick Foles.
So it was 7. It's 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 years. So Nick Foles,
my son
then Jalen, and then Jalen.
Yeah, and then we lost 4 NFC Championship games in the early 2000s
With Andy.
So so there's a lot of.
Is Andy like adored in Philly, or is he? I
A lot
remember
of people liked him. A lot of people hated him. People hated him because he just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah,
I don't think they disliked him for anything else.
and the time management stuff.
Yeah, that was.
But there's ever since getting Mahomes, there's never been even a glimpse of poor time management.
I think he learned a lot in Philadelphia. I think he learned a lot. Obviously you're in those high pressure situations. He was always brilliant. Brian Westbrook was, 4th, 5th round pick.
And that's your jersey.
Villanova.
Yeah. That's a game-worn jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what game?
No, my uncle got it he got it from the game. So he gave it to me. He's had it for years. He gave it to me like 2 or 3 years ago when I was down there.
That's awesome.
So
when was the last time you went to Philly for a game?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
The T.O. return game was the last time I was
my
there.
God. That was a huge game, though.
Yeah, it was a great game. Philly beat him pretty good.
Yeah.
The Eagles fans were nuts. They had T.O.'s face, and they were tossing like pills into his mouth, and it was crazy.
How bad are the Eagles fans?
Bad.
Like if I ever went to a Chiefs-Eagles game at Philly,
you don't. You don't.
No,
especially if you're. They're known for the Washington Redskins mascot. He was a Native American guy. He used to dress up in the headset and everything.
Yeah.
Or the headdress. And when he ended up, they beat us. I think we were like 9-1 at the time, and they were like, I'll say, 5-5. They beat us in Philly, and he was out, making noises and yelling and everything else out front. They found him around the corner, beat to a pulp, and he was in the ICU for like a month.
Jesus.
So he said he'll never go back to an Eagles game ever in Philadelphia. So it's no joke, and I don't condone it, but the guy at the T.O. return game, I went with a buddy of mine who was wearing a Dallas jersey.
How'd that go?
We got in the furthest parking lot. He had guys running up, dumping beers on him, throwing footballs at him. And he goes, "Yeah, let's go back to the car and put this jersey away." And he put the jersey away. So,
whoa,
it's nuts. Yeah.
And I give Bills fans a bad rap. That's way.
Bills fans are so nice. Like I went with my son to a game.
To Philly fans.
Yeah, they're nice. So I mean, they're mean as in like they they'll talk trash, but they don't. I mean, they're not assaulting people in the regular.
My dad and I got shoved into the next row last year at the playoff game.
Okay.
By this guy drunk off his ass though,
Yeah.
and it was after the DeMar Hamlin fake punt. Guy just shoved my dad and I into the next row, and then luckily some Bills fans stepped in and were like, "Dude, we've had enough of you," because he was giving us shit the whole time, and it was cordial, it was banter for the most part, and then he got just pissed off. But
yeah, I always think it's funny because every time the Eagles play, everyone invites me. They want to go with me to the game. So I had a real nice family, kid. I trained his son in soccer. They took me to the last one.
Yeah.
And they were all excited in the first half, and then things changed drastically in the second half on that. It's like a start of the second half, I think. What's his name had like a maybe it was like a 50, 60-yard run a couple of years ago. God, I can't even think of who it was. I mean, that's how many running backs.
This was in Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Was it Swift?
2 years ago. Was it Swift?
Or Miles Sanders?
It was Miles Sanders, yeah. Miles Sanders. He had like a 60-yard run, and then it was over from there. But
how often do you get to like watch all the games? Because you're on the fields.
I'm always coaching.
You're always coaching.
Yeah, like the Flash stuff I'm doing right now is 4 to 8 on Sunday nights. The Flash clinics I'm running.
Those are through Flash? Those aren't through you?
No, they're through Flash.
Okay.
I've been doing my winter one for like 7 years, and I kind of stepped away from it this year.
And then they had you do
them,
that?
Hey, do you want to do the... I've been, I've wanted it for a long time. I think it's important for the younger kids to get more touches.
Yeah.
And... yeah, it's 4 to 8 on Sunday, and even like the NFC Championship game, they're like, do you want to? It's the Bills are playing right after. Do you want to cancel? And I was like, and I've always said the same thing, whether I'm watching or not, the result's going to be the same. It's not going to change. So, do I want to watch it? Yes. But if I'm not there, I'm not gonna cancel sessions or stuff like. If I need to do what I need to do. So I've missed a lot of Eagles games over the years.
Yeah. Are you training? You're not training during the Super Bowl.
So the question was posed, because we have it that night, and we decided not to, only because it's more about the kids' attendance, right? So like the NFC Championship, the Bills game was right after.
Right.
So, or the kid's not going to be there because the Bills are playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we canceled it that week. It was not my decision to cancel it, right? I would have been there no matter what. And I joked around. I was like, well, if you don't cancel it, I might have to have someone else run it. I said, no, I'm just joking. If you do, like I'd be there. It's, it's my job and I take it seriously. So.
And then did they cancel?
They canceled. Yes.
Yeah.
They canceled. Yeah. Saturday. I think they sent something out Sunday for next week.
How do you feel? How do you feel compared to like 3 years ago, or 2 years ago?
Physically?
No, just like.
I say I'm falling apart. I'm old, Jason.
Dude, I am too. We could get to that. Like, no, Eagles, Chiefs.
It's a nervous excitement.
Yeah.
The thing is, and you'll die laughing at this, but Mahomes showed that he can throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns a game. And he didn't win.
Yeah.
And then he now is playing more like Jalen Hurts, and he's won 3 Super Bowls in a row. If you look at actually Jalen Hurts, and I can show you that, I can send you the thing.
Yeah. Over
the last 3 years, their numbers are identical.
They are identical.
Exactly
I saw
identical.
that too. First things first showed it.
And everyone says Jalen Hurts stinks, and Patrick Mahomes is the greatest that ever done it. But then look at Tom Brady, his first 3 Super Bowls.
Exact same as those guys.
He was efficient. He didn't turn the ball over. And then did he get into some years where he had to throw for 250? He would go 2 games thrown for 180 and 1 touchdown. And then he had to have a game of 350 and 3 touchdowns.
Exactly.
And I think that's the thing is, look at Jalen Hurts' last Super Bowl. 304 yards passing.
He outplayed Mahomes.
Yeah, 304 yards passing, 70 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. And I think it's very hard to determine who the greatest quarterbacks are. Because I think, Tom Brady, if you asked over the first 5 years, everyone said he was a game manager. And then all of a sudden he became the greatest ever. Why? Because he just kept winning and winning and winning, right?
And longevity goes into it, too. He just played longer than everybody, so it's easy to be.
And again, I love watching Lamar Jackson play. I love Josh Allen, and I love Joe Burrow. But every time I watch those guys, I think of Brett Favre. I used to love playing Brett Favre in the playoffs. Every time we got Green Bay in the playoffs in the early 2000s, I was like, there's going to be 2 interceptions and a couple of really poor decisions.
Yep.
And that gave you that opportunity. And I think that's where, like, Josh this year was so good is he was super efficient and didn't turn the ball over.
It's the best version of the Bills.
And people said, oh, he was so great. And then all of a sudden, then they expect you, you can't have it both ways, right? You can't have 350 and 4 touchdowns with 2 turnovers and be like, well, the 2 turnovers are why you lost. Well, you're putting the ball in harm's way.
Right.
It's just like Jalen Hurts. If we can hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, it's like in basketball, am I going to shoot a 3 from 35, 40 feet out, or go lay the ball up and in? If we can hand it to him and there's no risk of any, harm, and he can run at 60, I'll do that all day long. You can call my quarterback whatever you want.
Too bad they didn't go for the record.
Because I was really upset about that.
Because I think he would have been MVP.
I had actually talked about the two guys I teach with. I was like, if he gets the record, he'll be the MVP.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I understand it. I mean, he comes from a long history of injury.
Yep.
So, and look at A.J. Brown. Last year was out.
Yep.
We couldn't pass the ball at all without him. So it's going to come down to, he has a chance at breaking like 7 records in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's like
it's the best running back season ever.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I think Goddard is going to have a huge day.
Well, the Chiefs stink against tight ends, but
very bad. We are very bad.
Listen, from a Philadelphia guy that knows Spags and Andy Reid very well, they will be very prepared for everything. Trust me. Spags.
What do you think of Nick Sirianni?
I don't know.
Your coordinators are great.
Great coordinators.
Are you going to lose Kellen Moore? Is he going to go to the Saints?
He's going to the Saints. Yeah, they said it's kind of a done deal after the season. So.
And then Fangio is awesome.
Yeah, we just keep having coordinators. I mean, Jalen Hurts has had 9 coordinators in the last 10 years or something like that. They said. Right, because his change in high school to Alabama.
Yep, to Oklahoma.
Well, but Alabama, he was there for 2 years. They had 2 different coordinators.
Yeah.
Then at Oklahoma, then he's in his 5th year in the NFL, and he's had one every single different year. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 years.
Who's the offensive coordinator last year?
Brian Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He was the guy that was close with him from an earlier age.
Yeah, and he just stepped up and replaced the guy that went to Indy.
Yeah, I wanted to say Jonathan Gannon, but he went to Cardinals.
He's a good coach, too.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job there.
He was the coordinator for your last Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Against us, yeah.
And he was the one that took the Cardinals job midweek. And they said he wasn't focused on the game because he wasn't prepared for the second half with the Chiefs' adjustments and everything else. But I don't think that to be true.
You have 2 weeks, and most of the adjustments or what the Chiefs say, everything is game planned in the first week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't buy that. I think they're just excuses. They weren't good enough.
And it was like it's 3 points.
That holding call.
I have a screenshot of that hold. It was a hold. Even Bradbury said it was a hold.
I totally agree that it was hold, and
but
will never.
Why not call it the entire game?
Well, that and here's the other thing. That ball was 20 yards down the field. That slight hold was not. I mean, it hit a fan in the face, I think.
That's when we started paying the refs.
No. Everyone always says that. They said the same thing about New England.
I'm so sick of that narrative right now.
Well, people just want it to not be true, so to speak. It's just like my cousin married a New England Patriot.
Oh boy.
So he has 3-4 Super Bowls.
Jesus.
But it's about the details of the game, and sometimes it's the slightest little thing where it's more obvious, and better teams are going to get better calls. It's just like anything. You're going to give more leeway to better players in sports. There are guys in the NBA that get foul calls that you're like, dude, he sneezed on him.
Exactly.
As a Sixers fan,
yeah.
Joel Embiid, King flopper. Now, I love it when he gets the calls, but there are sometimes I'm like, yeah, that was, and then he hammers someone, and they're like, we'll let it go.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just this our treatment. It's when you're winning, when you're the aggressor, when you're you're gonna get a couple more of those calls. You know what I mean? So I don't begrudge it. I think it's the same thing. They're gonna say that about anyone that wins.
Yeah.
That consistently.
That's what I keep on telling Bills fans, because they think that that they will be the next to have it like a dynasty and whatnot. Like, wait till you guys are hated. Right now, they're loved by everybody in the country. Just wait until you rattle off 2 or 3.
Well, I think it's like anyone. When you are held down for so long. I mean, think about how the success of the Bills 4 years in a row in the 90s, and then not really getting to that mountaintop this long. It's you're starving for something. I've been there with Philadelphia sports. I had to watch them all in the 90s cry.
And the 2000s, too.
Well, the 2000s...
That was good years,
the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles were good. The Phillies were good. The Flyers were on and off. up and down.
Yeah.
The Sixers had Allen Iverson, so they were good
That
early in the
was always
2000s.
fun.
2001, they were in the finals.
Yep. Lost to Kobe.
Yep.
Talk about fun. Sunday. Who do you got? Eagles by how many?
I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than people think. I think I'll say 24-20 Eagles.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I think it's going to be Mahomes is a slow starter.
He always is in the Super Bowl.
And I think we may get up like maybe 17-3, 17-10. And then I think it's kind of going to be a back and forth in the second half. And I think the Eagles will hold it off this time.
He has never had a good first half in a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Fourth quarter, he's unbelievable. If it's away by the fourth quarter, I think to beat the Chiefs, you almost have to.
You have to be up.
You have to be up. I mean, yeah, he has a history of coming back and whatnot. But what do you think Saquon needs to do?
I don't know
to win.
At this point, if you listen to 90% of these pundits, I don't think the Eagles can win, and I don't think Saquon can run for more than 50 yards.
That's
if I see
crap.
one more thing, 18 playoff games, the Chiefs haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher. You have the last 25 games, they haven't allowed an 80-yard rusher or a 100-yard rusher. And everyone says, okay, we're going to Washington, we got to shut down Saquon. Okay, the Rams, we got to shut down Saquon. He can't do that to us a second. Like, the offensive line is so big and so good, and he is. And you sneeze in the wrong direction, he's gone. So I don't know. I would say he has 120 yards rushing.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. 120.
And I think he has one touchdown. I think Hurts maybe has two, whether one throwing, two rushing. But I think it'll be around 24-20, maybe 28-24, somewhere in there. I don't think they're getting into the 30s again this time.
You don't think so?
No. Unless, I will say this, unless there's a couple, if one team turns it over 2 or 3 times, it'll get into the 30s.
Happened last time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean,
we had,
you guys were
two
blowing
fumbles?
us out. You guys were blowing us out.
Jalen had one. It was run back for a touchdown.
Yeah, and then the one that was called back because of a penalty on the Chiefs or something. We almost had 2 fumbles returned for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, for the Chiefs to win, I think Mahomes has to go crazy. I really think so, and I don't know if he can. I mean, you have a young secondary, but they're good.
Yeah, but we want to run the ball, so that's going to take time, right?
Yep. I think we're going to run the ball, or we're going to have ball control.
Vic Fangio is not going to let you throw it over 20 yards anyway.
Exactly.
So you're going to have a lot of. I think you guys are going to dink and dunk down the field.
Yep.
And I think we're going to run the ball down your throat.
Death by 1,000 paper
And that's
cuts.
why I think, maybe get a couple stops early, get a couple of scores, and I don't know. I'm excited for it. I just hope the Eagles can win.
I think one of the things is that could hurt the Eagles is if they score too quick, because then we could just go on a methodical 10-yard play or 10-yard drive
against Washington 2 weeks ago.
Oh, is that? Yeah, but we're not going to settle for 3.
18.
We're not going to settle for 3.
18 play drive, and then Saquon went for 60, and the defensive guys were like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?"
Yeah, and let's go for it on 4th down. Let's go on it for 4th down. Let's go for it on 4th down, and then kick.
I did not have a problem with it.
All right, man.
Okay.
I'm thinking right in the 20s. I'm thinking 27-24 Chiefs.
27-24.
Yeah.
Mahomes
Lots
3
of field.
touchdown.
No,
passes?
I think no. I'm thinking Mahomes 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt.
I don't think you're running the ball. We've given up like 4 rushing touchdowns in the season or something ridiculous like that.
And then it'll probably be Mahomes running.
I think Mahomes is gonna have a rushing touchdown.
And then Worthy. I think Worthy's gonna be the big.
I hope Mahomes doesn't fake this ankle injury again and then run for 50 yards.
Oh, it's broke.
I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, it's broke right now. All right, man. We did it in an hour and 45. I appreciate you coming, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
That was fun.
I hate soccer,